Ready to record?
I mean, better be.
We're recording.
It's happening.
Hello, welcome to the Let Me Know That You Know podcast. I'm Dustin, aka Mr. Coin Laundry.
And I'm Mandy, aka Truly Mandalee.
How are you? How you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing? Actually, I'm not great, but
Why not?
It's mainly because I'm dreading work tomorrow, but
oh yeah,
that's neither
Me
here
too.
nor there.
I guess we should start by apologizing that we missed a week.
We got our Pokey Poke last
Yeah.
weekend, and it just kind of wiped us out.
Oh my god, it destroyed me. So we got the. Can we say what we got? Is that,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we got.
You just can't show your exact numbers or anything,
Oh,
but you
okay.
can say that you got the Moderna.
Yeah, we got the Moderna, and Mandy got really tired. I remember.
Yeah.
I got the fucking flu for two to 3 days straight.
Yeah.
Because even when I went back to work, I was still feeling sick.
Yeah, that was the thing. I thought it really only hit me bad for a day.
Yeah.
I had taken off that Monday after because I was like trying to be cautious because everybody had kind of a different reaction.
Yeah.
Well, the Saturday, so we got it Friday. The Saturday, I was just straight wiped out.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to be anything. I just want to sleep or relax, whatever. And so we didn't do much Saturday.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, I was feeling pretty well back to normal, I thought. But I went to work out, and I was like, oh, I do not have the energy I usually have.
Well, the Saturday, I remember we woke up and we were both feeling like how you feel when you're hungover. And I was like, well, if this is the worst of it, then I think we're going to be okay this weekend. And then, like, we went and took her mom to get her second shot. And while we were waiting on her, I was like, I don't feel so good. And then I, like, lost my appetite all weekend and, like...
Which is very unusual for him. He snacks constantly.
Like, we got...
And I'm very jealous.
We got Burger King because I love the Impossible Whoppers. That's like one of my favorite things to get fast food wise. I couldn't even finish the burger.
Which is very rare.
Yeah.
He can usually finish a burger. It's the fries.
Yeah.
And the fries are my favorite.
Yeah. Well, you eat them first.
I know, because I love them. I want them hot.
I think I'm in the minority eating them after the burger.
I mean, I understand the concept because for you, like the pinnacle of the meal is the burger.
Yeah.
For me, the pinnacle of the meal is the French fries. I love French fries. I love potatoes, and that would explain why I have a dump truck behind because them potatoes will get you. They'll get you every time. But I'm not giving them up. I love them.
I'm not giving them potatoes up.
They're so good.
But
especially the bad varieties.
That would be why we weren't able to record last week.
Yeah.
We weren't able to celebrate a few days late. But now it's over a week late. Robert Pattinson's birthday.
Oh my god, happy belated birthday, Robert Pattinson.
Welcome to the Robert Pattinson fan cast. It was his birthday on May 13th. It was also our good friend Mercedes' birthday.
Same day.
Same day. It was Thursday, May 13th. I have another list, a longer list since we didn't record for 2 weeks.
I just saw one of the things on there, and I'm...
Which one?
I won't spoil it.
Okay, well, we watched Willys Wonderland.
Oh, God.
And I think it was amazing.
I think it was a movie.
Okay, so if you're gonna watch it...
Don't have high expectations.
I'm gonna try so hard not to spoil so much of the movie, but just be aware that some of this is not public knowledge. And 3, 2, one, Nicolas Cage did not speak at all that entire movie.
He did not.
The movie is probably the closest you're going to get to a actual Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
He had a love affair with a pinball machine?
He had a love affair with the pinball machine. So he gets trapped in this town that's like has this like cult thing going with their Willys Wonderland, their Five Nights at Freddy's, which has these animatronics that were possessed by serial killers like Five Nights at Freddy's.
Uh-huh.
But
they had like 12 or something.
Yeah, they had like 12 of them, but their sister location.
Yeah, that's true.
Anyways,
the reboot location.
Yeah, they had like 12 of them, but anyways, it was him. And then there were these teenagers who were aware of everything that was happening, and they were trying to
they wanted to burn it down.
Yeah, they wanted to burn it down, but the town wouldn't let them. And then they tried to warn Nicolas Cage, like, "Hey, we're about to burn this fucking place down. Let us in so we can get you out."
And he's like, "Yo," well, he didn't say a damn thing.
No, he didn't say anything. He just walked away, and they were like, "You fucking idiot!" And then they broke in. And then now they're trapped in there.
Half of them went, just burn it down with him in it.
Yeah,
and that would have been an okay movie too.
Wow. Fuck. I love Nicolas Cage. How dare you?
I mean, I don't have a problem with Nicolas Cage, but that would have been an okay movie too.
Oh my god. I love that movie. Anyways.
In and done in 30 minutes.
It was right up there with Chopping Mall for me, which I love Chopping Mall.
Chopping Mall was ridiculous enough. This didn't hit the ridiculous factor that made me enjoy it as much.
It hit the ridiculous factor amazingly. That made me enjoy it.
No, and here's what I'll say. I love a ridiculous horror movie, but it hits me better when the special effects are bad. Chopping Mall.
Well, the special effects were pretty bad.
Yeah, but it's weird with modern ones because they're still like 10 times better than the special effects in bad horror movies or like cheap horror movies, that it doesn't hit the same like, this is ridiculous bone.
Well, my favorite thing was, okay, so they fucked up his car. The town fucked up his car. He doesn't know.
They did the most generic car wrecking thing in the book, and they threw down a spike strip because this is a cartoon.
And he doesn't know that they did this on purpose. And so they're basically like, well, we can fix it, but it's going to cost like this. You can work it off at Willys Wonderland. Just stay there overnight, like clean it up or whatever. And he had this like watch, and he had like 50 fucking breaks. So every 15 minutes, this watch would beep. And even if he was in the middle of a fight with one of the animatronics, he would just stop
and go
play pinball. And drink this soda. I can't remember what the soda was called.
He had a weirdly sexual method of playing pinball. That's the thing.
He just danced to it. It was like he was the Pinball Wizard. How do you think he does? Yeah. Okay. How do you think he does it? I don't know. He thinks he's so cool.
There's another one that hits that ridiculous factor for me.
Tommy?
Yeah.
I don't think I ever saw it.
I saw bits and pieces.
I just know that song, and I used to love the hell out of that song. Anyways.
I can't believe we paid for that movie.
I am putting that in the Dustin Horror Hall of Fame.
Oh no.
I write horrors.
Oh no.
Therefore, my opinion carries weight. Yeah, that movie was amazing. And I come to realize that Nicolas Cage is another cryptid. Just like Willem Dafoe. Think about it. Think about how fucking weird that dude is.
Yeah.
And he named his son Kal-El.
Yeah, that was a weird one for me.
But he's a cryptid, and he's really...
Although I saw someone... I used to work at a community center. I saw someone else that named their child Kal-El, and I was like Superman. And they were probably... I don't know how many people were like, just heard it and went, all right, and went on with their day. But me, I'm like Superman. And there was like this moment. We shared a moment.
What if you were like Superman? They're like, no, you idiot. Like Nicolas Cage's son. That's what
like Superman.
That's what we named our child after, Nicolas Cage's son.
That makes me worried that somebody would be a bigger fan of Nicolas Cage
than Superman. There's people out there, I'm sure.
But I mean, I feel like if there was like a Nicolas Cage thing, like if you went to his Wikipedia page and it talked about his children,
well, I'm sure it did.
It would say that he named him after Superman.
He was almost Superman.
That doesn't make any sense.
In a Tim Burton movie, which never happened.
It makes more sense that it was a Tim Burton movie, but still I can't connect those dots. I've seen the pictures, but it still seems unreal. It seems like Nicolas Cage went and did it at his house. You know what I mean? Like he just bought it and I'm Superman.
It was almost kind of like that because they didn't
make it far.
Yeah, they didn't make it very far. All they were able to do is like the fitting for the suit and a little test footage or whatever.
But that's why that lives better in my brain with that reality more than it was even in pre-production stages. That's what I can't understand. I can't fathom.
But I don't know. It was a different time, and like I feel like back then, which I guess still now, but I guess more so now, people are pulling actors that you don't really know. But back then they were like, there are 5 actors. There's Nicolas Cage.
What year was that?
That had to have been not long after Batman Returns. That had to have been like 90s or like either really mid to late 90s or very early 2000s because
when were the
Kevin Smith had already done Clerks, but he hadn't done much else. He probably only just done
that was like 91.
Yeah. Okay, so it was before Wild Wild West. When did Wild Wild West?
That is a big gap between Clerks and Wild Wild West.
When did Wild Wild West come out?
The late 90s, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe 97.
He only made like Chasing. When did he make Chasing Amy?
I don't know. This is your thing.
97 probably he made Chasing Amy.
Okay.
Anyways, my point is, I know it was before Wild Wild West because Warner Bros. Was pushing for Kevin Smith to make the movie or whatever, or write it, and they kept pushing for a giant spider, and then he was like, I passed on the project, it never happened. And then I'm watching Wild Wild West, and I see a giant mechanical spider, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute.
Wait a minute, yeah.
So I know it was before then.
Well, when did it come out?
Wild Wild West?
Yeah.
I will Google.
Thank you.
Google this.
Because my memory is not great when it
was
comes to movie
99.
years.
I remember 1999.
Okay, you were right.
I remember getting the glasses from some fast food place. I don't remember if it was Burger King or McDonald's, but
that was definitely one I didn't see.
There was
until way later.
There's a picture out there somewhere with me and 2 of my cousins, all 3 of us wearing a Wild Wild West sunglasses.
What an odd movie.
It was a very weird movie. I barely remember it now.
Anyway, what were Nicolas Cage is a cryptid.
Nicolas Cage is a cryptid. I read an article, I forget where I read it from, probably Screen
He's a very mellow cryptid.
He's very weird. Everyone has a weird Nicolas Cage story. No interaction between Nicolas Cage and a person has ever been normal, according to everyone who's interacted with him. I read an article, it was probably on Screen Rant or something. Seth Rogen was supposed to work with him on the Green Hornet movie, and he was supposed to be like the villain. And he was at the table with them and talking to them about the movie. He was like, I want to be a bald man, but I want my hair tattooed on. And they were like...
What?
They were like laughing about it, and then they realized he wasn't joking. And then He was talking.
Now I want to know how far he'd go for that.
He would.
He
would actually shave his head
and let them tattoo it on.
Yeah.
Huh?
Anyways, then he was talking about.
Let him do it.
Then he was talking.
Sounds great.
Then he was talking about how he changed his mind, and he wanted to be a white Rastafarian or something like that.
Chet Hanks.
And then Seth Rogen and them were like, "We don't think we can do that. We think we'll get a lot of slack for that."
Okay, how did Seth Rogen know that back then, but Chet Hanks is walking around today?
I don't know. But anyways, that's not the end of the story. I guess James Franco later played in some movie, I don't know what the movie was, where he played a character that was based off like a Florida rapper or something.
Okay.
And immediately Nicolas Cage called Seth Rogen and said, did you tell James Franco about our meeting? Because I kind of feel like he stole my character.
Then I hope he sent him the articles about this Florida rapper.
I think Seth
and
Rogen...
went take it up with him.
Well, Seth Rogen was telling him about it, and he was like, I don't think he ever believed me. But anyways, Nicolas Cage is a cryptid, and him and Willem Dafoe have worked together before.
And what?
Cryptids know each other.
Where is that a piece of lore?
It's everywhere.
Cryptids know each other?
They're part of a support group.
Oh.
A cryptid support group.
What do they need support from?
Us, humans.
We're annoying.
Yeah, we're annoying.
Got it.
We won't let them be.
That makes sense.
Like, think about it. You're trying to live your life. You're trying to be a hermit in the woods. And then all these fucking people are like, I don't believe that person is real. So
why are they always blurry?
You know what? We're not here to ask those questions.
Okay.
Anyways. Because
Can we get a blurry picture of Willem Dafoe and Nicolas Cage?
Please.
If you have any like Photoshop skills, can you make like
a blurry photo?
A blurry photo of Nicolas Cage or Willem Dafoe in the woods?
Both of them looking at the camera like Bigfoot, like all confused and shit.
God,
I wish.
We have, like everyone nowadays, we have security cameras, right?
Uh-huh.
I told Dustin he needs to get a Yeti costume and walk across the lawn.
I'll fucking do it. Just give me the Yeti costume. Find me the Yeti costume.
I know. I said he needs to do it because...
your grandpa
checks it. My grandpa checks it like every morning, and I think that would be the most hilarious thing. For Dustin to just be this Yeti walking across the fucking lawn. So
we'll get back to y'all on that if that ends up happening.
If it happens, I'll get the video. I don't care.
Yeah, I don't care either. Put me all over the internet.
Hilarious.
Anyways, what was I saying? All cryptids know each other. Oh, they made a movie. Nicolas Cage either wrote or directed a movie where Willem Dafoe plays a vampire, and it's a movie
that checks out too.
It's a movie, I can't remember what the movie's called, but basically the premise of the movie is they don't know that he's actually a vampire, and like they're trying to make a vampire movie, and they think he's just in makeup, but he's actually a fucking vampire, and he's like slowly killing people off and shit.
Why does this sound familiar?
I watched it at one point.
Okay,
but anyways, it was a good movie. But anyways, Willem Dafoe was talking...
I think I woke up in the middle of the night and you were watching it, and I was very confused.
But Willem Dafoe was talking about how at the meeting, Nicolas Cage was talking about how he wanted the character to be, and he wanted the character to be obsessed with movies or whatever. And Willem Dafoe was like, I think I should play this as a character who doesn't understand movies at all, and I think that would play better. And then Nicolas Cage wouldn't speak to him for a week, so he thought he lost the job. Anyways, that whole thing happened. Cryptids know each other. Cryptids work together on films.
Okay.
Oh, God. Let's see. There's rumors that Chris Hemsworth is going to be the live-action HeMan, but I don't know.
Is that the one Kevin Smith is doing?
No, Kevin Smith is doing
the animated one. Okay.
And they're talking about making a live-action movie.
Got it. That I hadn't heard.
But I don't know if they were still going with Chris Hemsworth. So I don't know how... I mean, that was also just a rumor.
Can he reenact the What's Going On video?
What's going on?
That's the only way I'll accept that.
Also, I'm sure everyone's seen this by now. Dracula's Castle was offering COVID tests.
Oh! That seems appropriate.
Dracula's actual castle was offering COVID tests. And everyone's like, I'm not falling for this. We know what happens at Dracula's castle.
We need blood? No, you don't. What do you mean you need blood? We need blood. It's a different kind of COVID test. Actually, I don't know if there's a blood COVID test, but everything I've seen has been the up-the-nose swab.
Yeah.
But anyway, Dracula's castle would need blood.
Oh, they also... I think they were... Was it just COVID tests? I don't remember. It must have just been COVID tests. I was going to say maybe they had the vaccine, but I think it was just COVID tests.
I love that.
Anyways.
Man, you know what sucks about most of our cities, right? Being young
we don't
comparison.
Have a castle.
We don't have Dracula's castles. We have old, like, cities.
Yeah.
We'll say, like, in the western side of the country, we have, like, where the Indians had their, like, homes in the mountains and stuff. In the mountains.
In the mountains.
Are they mountains? I don't know. It's not really a mountain. I'm not from a place where we had mountains. I guess wherever the Grand Canyon and canyon-like places, I guess.
Yeah. They
had their little Pueblos?
Pueblos?
Yeah.
Teepees?
No.
Oh.
No, okay, maybe that's not the word.
Pueblos.
But that's like where they put it in the rock.
Yeah.
In the rock, and they built the little
thing.
Anyway, that was cool. I remember going to see that. No.
Yeah, but I feel like...
But anyway, we don't have, like, that kind of history where we have gigantic castles.
It upsets me that there's not at least one castle every, like, 5 states or something.
Yeah.
Just to creep people the fuck out. And no one knows who lives there, but they know someone lives there.
Right.
And when people go there, they don't come back. Anyways... the goth in me is upset.
So, okay. I'm just thinking back to, like, me thinking back to Indian times, right? And, like, okay, so I grew up in the north, right? I guess they would have just had to be in, like, teepees and that kind of stuff.
Well, they just made, like, homes out of animal hide and stuff.
Because, I guess that's what they did. Because we did take a trip to, like...
Yeah.
A reservation or where... And they had, like, the historical kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
I'm sure there were some stone buildings.
They definitely did.
None of them were, like, vain enough, like, fucking people in the 1700s... Was it further back than that?
Oh, it definitely went further back
Anyways,
than that.
None of them were vain enough to build their own castle. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. I just think it's interesting. Well, I mean, also, how they typically live, they kind of moved.
Yeah. Well, they were all very community-based.
Stuff, right?
Yeah. They were all very community... I don't know. They were all very community-based and tribal, so no one Indian, not even the chieftain, would have been, like, super fucking vain and been like, build me a castle right now.
And from my understanding, it was just they moved where they could grow stuff and do whatever they needed
All the castles are in the European countries.
Yeah.
Ireland and all that.
Yeah, anyway, I just thought that was interesting. Because I'm like, would it be dope? Yeah, but it was just... Not our thing.
No, I guess not. If I were some sort of crazy fucking rich person, maybe I would build a castle and creep people out or something. I don't know.
You know, I'm surprised there hasn't been someone yet. Has there?
I don't know. There's probably not enough land at this point for someone to do that.
I'm sure there is.
Or maybe if there is, it's probably deep in the woods and no one's heard of it. I don't know.
I'm sure there's definitely area. Because, I mean, it doesn't have to be in a highly populated area.
No.
How cool would that be?
It'd be amazing.
All right. Bucket list. Build a fucking castle in the middle of nowhere.
You know what that reminds me of, though?
Uh-huh.
I don't know why. There's no reason for it to remind me of this. Do you ever think about the fact that the marble hornets exist?
Oh my god. I think about marble hornets, like,
those fucking
once
videos,
a week.
man.
That, like, I was, like, when I first saw it, I was in my freshman year of college.
Uh-huh.
And I watched it. I watched, like, 30 videos in, like, a fucking night.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, at that time, YouTube videos weren't that long.
I don't even remember where I was when I first started watching.
I
remember
it,
where I was, but I don't remember when it was.
I was way up north in Minnesota, and I was like, this, I could die here, I think.
Oh my god.
Even though I was in a very populated, like, fucking campus,
Listen,
I was like, you know what, I could die here. That makes sense. Slenderman, outside.
You lived in the north, in the city area. Now, I'm from Albany. I'm from a lawless, savage land known as Albany, Georgia.
There's some cops there. I don't think it's that lawless.
Anyways, it's like 10 minutes away from a town called Leesburg, which is basically the middle of nowhere. So lots of trees.
I will say, yeah,
lots of woodlands.
Georgia really weird because I have never been, like, anywhere I've lived, you couldn't drive, like, 10 minutes and there's a fucking farm in the middle of the fucking road.
And you've been to Jacob's house.
See?
That is where I watched some of it.
Yeah.
And Jacob's house at night, it's like there's no light. There's no light at all.
It's very dark.
It's dark. It's creepy. There's that fucking clock that goes bong.
I remember you used to talk to me about that.
I'm like having a fucking heart attack every night. But do I stop watching? No.
No.
Not even when, you remember the silo? The silo where you found the...
Yep.
I didn't even stop watching it when I discovered that there was one of those not far from...
Yeah, that makes sense.
Jacob's
because
house.
you lived in a farm area.
But it was like abandoned.
Uh-huh.
So I'm like...
Ooh, I would think about that. I used to take a bus, like, back and forth. I started out way up north, and then I went back to the city's campus. But, I hated it. I would drive, and the whole drive was basically middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
Because it was, the cities, and then up north.
Yeah.
Right? And there was, of course, it was a college town, so of course there was a city there.
Yeah.
But I was like, yo, I hate this. I hate this drive. I do remember, though. I hate this drive. It was always nighttime when I would do it.
Ugh.
And so, and I would basically, like, either watch something on my laptop or just sleep, whatever. Because it was all pretty much college kids.
Ugh.
Like, riding the bus. So it wasn't one of those situations where I was like, I need to be awake because I'm scared. I was like, this is all pretty much everyone going back to campus.
I just remember watching those fucking videos and being like, I'm fine. And then, like, I'd play my original Xbox, like the first Xbox or whatever, and I'd be playing Morrowind, which is kind of a really creepy game in its own right. And, like, they made that weird sound in Marble Hornets. That weird... And, like, the video would glitch up or whatever.
Yeah.
My fucking Xbox never did this before.
I know the exact sound because it's like when a disc game gets, like, glitches or, like, freezes and it makes that noise.
My Xbox never did this before. Morrowind never did this before. It hasn't done it since. Glitched, froze, went I immediately turned it off, turned the TV off, and ran down through the fucking house to a safe space. and just like sat there for a while thinking about my life choices.
Yeah, that was the one good thing because like we were in the dorm, right?
Yeah.
So we were in the apartment, but there was always people there, so I was like, it's not like I felt like I'm alone.
Yeah.
But I was like, why am I doing this to myself? Because like where we were, there was like woods behind us.
Yeah.
We were like right on the edge of campus, and I'm like, I'm smart.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up with Slender Man looking through the window.
Ugh. That shit freaked me out so much. Those games don't even do that fucking show justice at all. That whole show was creepy.
Yeah, they did a good job. I never saw the movie that they made.
I never saw the movie either. I just watched the whole show.
Yeah.
But speaking of creepy things, I played Resident Evil yesterday. Got through the Dimitrescu castle. That was fun, but I wanted to bring up Resident Evil 8 because I wanted to bring up some of the mods I've seen. First of all, they're mad horny. Some of them.
The whole game is about being mad horny.
Yeah, well,
from what I've seen,
they tried to they modded in a fly swatter, so you could hit Lady Dimitrescu in the ass, and it makes
that's gonna be a fan fave, I'm sure.
Anyways, but two of the mods that I thought were funniest were one is that someone modded the baby's head to be Chris's head.
Yeah, I saw that one.
It's just a baby with grown ass Chris's head.
A grumpy ass Chris.
And then another was they replaced all the enemies with Barney.
Like the dinosaur?
Yeah, I love you.
Yep.
You love me. And I don't know if it makes it less or more scary that a bunch of fucking Barneys are coming after you.
I think either way it checks out.
But I just thought that was interesting that the mods that I've seen have been super
I love the ideas that people come up with for mods.
Well, I guess...
Like you were talking about the Skyrim one.
Yeah, I guess they went the next step up from Thomas the Tank Engine Dragons from Skyrim.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
Is Barney enemies in Resident Evil.
Well, you remember the other Skyrim mod you told me about?
Which one?
The laugh track.
Oh yeah, there's a laugh track. And I guess every time you fail to make a potion, every time a lockpick breaks, every time you die...
Every time you fuck up.
Yeah, every time you fuck up, there's a laugh track that comes in.
And I'm like, that would make my Skyrim experience more enjoyable.
I would fucking love that. What else did I want to talk about? J. Cole released an album, and it was dope, of course, because it's J. Cole. But people were losing their shit because he didn't have anyone else on the album. And I'm like...
Did they realize that used to be like a normal occurrence?
Yeah, I'm like, okay, first of all, do you really like J. Cole if you can't listen to an album that's just J. Cole?
Name me one song if you really like J. Cole.
And second of all, is it not a good thing that he can stand on his own?
Right.
I don't understand what the big deal was.
Me can't name a J. Cole song. Fake fan.
You know Neighbors. Okay, neighbors think I'm selling dope. Selling dope. I am.
Yeah.
And then he also has...
you know how I know that song?
Because I play it?
Because you sing it. I don't think... I maybe heard it a couple times.
I'm a big J. Cole fan, I think.
Only you would know.
Well, you know, people always question your shit. And it's like, yes, maybe I haven't heard his very earliest albums, but...
Yeah, I mean...
I've listened to like 4 of them.
Why is there gatekeeping on every fandom?
Because people are assholes, and I don't tolerate gatekeeping. Like, you know, I don't really have...
I feel like everyone has gate kept.
Yeah.
But I feel like once you're an adult and you're still trying to gatekeep, it's very much a normal, like, teenage, child, whatever thing to do. But As soon as you're an adult and you're gatekeeping, I'm like, why?
I don't know, man.
It's like the same thing, the adults who, like, shame people for playing on easy, right?
I'm playing on easy right now. I'm playing on easy on fucking Resident Evil 8.
You know what I'm like? I have a job. I have other shit in my day. I just want to enjoy a game and not beat my head against the wall like I would with other, like when I was younger and thought I needed to be able to beat this on normal or hard. I'm like, dude, no, I want to play this game and have a good time. I don't want to play this whole... Well, you only really beat it if you beat it on this. No, I know what happens at the end. That's all I need. Thank you.
But like, I don't really have a whole lot of fans. I appreciate the amount of fans that I do have of my comics and stuff. But should the day come, I have a lot of fans of my stuff and everything. If someone out there starts like gatekeeping, like, oh yeah, well, were you there and when blah blah blah. You're not my fan. I don't appreciate you gatekeeping.
Right.
That's an asshole.
I feel like there's a better way of like going. If they were like, well, I blah 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 blah, and it's just like, okay, well, if somebody got something wrong because they didn't know, like from way back when,
just educate them. Don't be an asshole.
Just tell them, oh no, this actually happened here, and then move on with your day.
Yeah.
What are you getting out of this? And usually they're just unhappy with something else, so they just
sense of superiority.
Poo-poo someone else.
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's so irritating because some people it does really affect. And maybe it puts them off of something.
Yeah.
Because they're like, well, I don't want to hang around something with this kind of people. But usually it's just like...
no toxicity in my city.
In my city.
I'll never tolerate gatekeeping.
It's hard because, I mean, even if you say that, right?
Yeah.
You can't catch it 100% of the time.
But... we know my stance.
Yeah.
What was I gonna say? Oh, there's Adult Swim is making 3 new movies, which is a good news to fans of Venture Bros, Metalocalypse, and Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Interesting.
Aqua Teen Hunger Force is getting its 2nd movie.
I didn't even know they had a first.
Yeah, they had a first. It was actually released in select theaters.
Huh.
I wanted to go see it, but my dad wouldn't take me.
Doesn't he like it now?
He liked it then, but I think we were in Macon.
Oh.
And it was in the mall, and we were on like a time restraint.
Oh, got you.
And I don't think we had a lot of money at the time.
Yeah, I get you.
But Metalocalypse is
thought it was like another like...
No, it wasn't. Because my dad is weird about certain movies, like he hated Harry Potter because witchcraft or whatever. But he loved Aqua Teen Hunger Force, so he's fine with things that don't make sense.
What about Metalocalypse? He likes that too.
He loved that too.
But wasn't it kind of satanic?
It was very satanic.
Okay.
He's fine. He doesn't make sense, and I'll never understand his reasoning for anything. At least my mom had sense when it came to that kind of thing because she bought me the books. It was like, I know you actually like this, and you're going to find out how to read it somehow. Because
I'll tell you, every kid that couldn't play with Pokemon cards, that couldn't watch Harry Potter, that couldn't do any of that, they found it outside of their house. It didn't matter. But
I think it's crazy that Metalocalypse and Venture Bros are finally getting movies. I don't even know if either of those are still going. Maybe Venture Bros. I don't think Metalocalypse is still going. I don't know. But that'll be exciting to see. Speaking of things being brought back from the dead, Sega answered the call. Oh, what is the company called? The game company that made Lethal League and Lethal League Blaze.
Are you asking me?
No, I'm just saying.
Okay, in general. I was like, I've never even heard of that.
The game company who made those 2 games.
What are those?
They're like fighting games with a unique gameplay.
Okay.
Kind of a hot potato sort of thing.
Hot potato.
like a fighting game.
Is it a Wiggles fighting game?
No. Fighting game mixed with the concept of hot potato and Pong somehow.
This sounds like a lot to manage.
It's not. It's not that complicated. With like graphics that look eerily similar to Jet Set Radio Future. They made a game that's literally a spiritual successor to Jet Set Radio Future called like Bomb Rush Cyberpunk or something like that. I should probably Google this so everyone knows exactly what I'm talking about.
That'd be good. Because I can't help you.
But anyways,
I ain't got answers.
They got tired of people. They got tired of waiting and asking Sega, like, hey, please make another Jet Set Radio game. And so they made their own. And then now Sega is like, okay, well, fuck. We need to make our own. So Sega's bringing Jet Set Radio back from the dead. And not only that...
Are you thrilled?
Yeah, I am.
Why have you not said anything about this?
Because I was waiting for the podcast.
Oh my god. I'm like, that's something you would have like immediately told me and went, oh my god. It's coming.
I was waiting for the podcast. I wanted you to be surprised. Team Reptile. Team Reptile is the game company. And they made...
Maybe I did see this.
They made Bomb Rush Cyberpunk, which is coming out next year, which is literally like Jet Set Radio Future. But anyways...
Because I think I saw something that looked like Jet Set Radio, and I was like, oh, that kind of looks like something you would like. And maybe I wasn't sure if that was something that...
was on purpose.
They, like, the
Sega?
Jet Set Radio company came back and went, here you go.
Nope.
So it is somebody totally different.
It was fans who went, we're tired of waiting for this.
Alright, go off.
And now Sega has to answer the call, and I guess, I don't know if it's just rumors, it seemed official. Mm-hmm. Where did I put that? Because they're not just bringing back, I guess I only put... They're bringing back, like, Space Channel 5 also.
That was like a rhythm game, right?
Yeah, it was like one of the first. They're bringing back Jet Set Radio, Space Channel 5, and I think... I don't remember what the other one was, but it was an old Sega game that hasn't been talked about in a while. Mm-hmm. And I guess Sega is, like, tired of all these other companies, like the people who actually made Toe Jam and Earl being like, fuck it, we'll make it ourselves. And
we're doing it live.
The Shenmue guy making his...
Yeah, maybe they realize that there's money in nostalgia.
Yeah. But they're finally answering that call. So yeah, that's happening.
I'm happy for you.
I'm very excited. I love Jet Set Radio Future so much.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've replayed that game. It was in the 40s. Like, I'm not even kidding, I counted. I replayed that game like 40-something times.
Yeah. Is it like a pretty quick game in general?
It can be.
Okay.
If you just, like, there's a lot of collectibles and stuff. Mm-hmm.
You know what's a game I'll compare that to?
Okay.
Because then I kind of see what you're saying.
Okay.
SSX Tricky.
Yeah.
I beat that with so many characters on so many different, like, difficulty levels. I wanted to unlock all the costumes for, like, my favorite characters.
Yeah.
And that meant doing, like, so many point runs and, like, all this kind of stuff. So I'm like, I understand.
I
follow.
This was a game... This was before DLC.
Ooh, you know what'd be cool?
What?
I'm so sorry.
What's up?
I want them to re-release SSX Tricky in particular on a next gen console.
That would be amazing.
That was the best SSX game. I will lay that on the line.
Yeah. Jet Set Radio Future... I don't think you're alone there. Jet Set Radio Future came out before DLC, so it had a lot of secret characters. And you could unlock, like, the bad guys. You could unlock all the bad guys.
I love a secret character moment.
Yeah, and also there was a dog. Like, Yo-Yo was one of the characters, and he had a dog named Potts. And you could unlock a humanoid version of the dog.
I hate that.
And you could unlock the tutorial robot.
That was for the furries.
But it was really hard to do that. Because
Is there a robot furry?
A robot furry?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
like a robophile?
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm sure there is. There's sex dolls. So.
Oh my god.
Probably. But you had to you had to 100% complete this game basically. So you had to beat the game. You had to find all the graffiti souls, which you could only get to show up by doing things like get a 500,000 combo or
SSX Tricky had stuff like that too.
Do this many tricks, do 50 tricks, and you had to strategically do it because at a certain point that if you didn't do it timed right, it would start over.
That reminds me of Tony Hawk too. And you know what was the best way to connect together any
grinds
and doing a manual?
Yeah.
Because there were definitely points where I ran out of stuff to do the what's it called?
The tricks and stuff.
The vertical tricks on, and then coming back and doing the street tricks and all that. But then there would be a span where I couldn't do shit, and I'm like, I'm just gonna manual until I hit the next thing, and it worked.
Well, Resident Evil Future was grinds was it. That's how you could do the thing, but you had to find the right grind because certain rails gave more points than other rails.
That's a lot.
And it was a lot of you had to play it a lot. And I remember playing it one time and doing things seamlessly. And Glenn, my brother Glenn, was sitting next to me. He was like, "Has anyone ever told you played this way too fucking much?" And I was like, "No, fuck you." Anyways. I want to play it right now, but I would have to find my old Xbox and hook that up, and that's a pain in the ass because for some reason they decided not to make that backwards compatible or put it on the Xbox Live Arcade, which frustrates me to no end.
I feel like I was one of the very few people that played SSX Tricky on the GameCube.
Probably. I feel like most Nintendo people did. But a lot of people played it on the PS2.
I would say the PS2 was probably the most common one. Did they? It was maybe
on
the
Xbox
Xbox too?
Yeah. It's a greatest hits Xbox game.
It deserves it.
So it had the silver cover.
It deserves it because honestly, I would play that right now.
Yeah.
If it was easier to play, if it was easier to get on something that we have available, I would play the shit out of that right now. I love that game.
I would play Just Every Feature so bad right now, but the hassle.
It's a pain in the ass.
I'm just so sad that they never put it on Xbox Live Arcade or anything.
That's one of the things where I hate that they're moving everything kind of more digital. There's still games that they're never gonna move to the digital
structure. Well, I'm hoping now that they're gonna revive the game or whatever, maybe
Sega there's a bigger chance that you'll get both versions on a next gen. Not so I'm thinking I don't know what sentence I was trying to put together, but I don't think that's gonna happen with SSX Tricky.
No, probably not. Who made that?
EA.
Oh, fuck.
EA Sports.
Good luck with that one.
Get in the game.
Oh, God.
I know I started up that game way too many fucking times because I still remember.
Well, I don't know how many people these days remember EA being sports only.
Yeah, they are.
EA Sports. Get in the game.
Mm-hmm.
That used to be the only thing you heard from EA, and now they're demons.
And the only game I ever played that was an EA Sports game was SSX Tricky.
No,
I didn't play any other SSX games either, thinking about it. I got one way later on, but that was the only game.
I definitely played a few, but I don't remember what those were.
None of them were. The soundtrack in SSX Tricky was so good.
SSX Tricky was definitely a top tier game.
It was so good. And it came out at the perfect time because it was, right around the same time as all the Tony Hawk games were coming out, which I also played on the GameCube. And not a PS2 or anything, which I feel like, again, abnormal.
Speaking of Tony Hawk,
yes.
I've been thinking a lot, which is not abnormal for me.
I've been thinking.
About American Wasteland and how much I loved that game.
I was definitely a Thug and a Thug 2.
Yeah, well, Thug is obviously the best. The only beef I have with Wasteland is that you couldn't like play as a lady.
And see that throw the whole game out because that was the only way I really liked them.
Back then there wasn't like a lot of LGBT plus representation in games, and like the story ends with you making out with a girl, so I guess they didn't want to deal with, which is stupid. They didn't want to deal with like a lady kissing a lady or whatever.
Oh my god. Which humanity.
Yeah, I know, it's so fucking stupid. But anyways, they also probably didn't want to have to hire a whole nother voice actor, which is stupid. Mass Effect did it. Anyways.
I know. Well, anytime they say, oh, well, you have to do a whole new blah, 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 it's just out of laziness.
Yeah.
They just don't want to go through the effort.
Yeah.
Because even if that was a concern, a lady kissing a lady, right, at the end.
Yeah.
How hard would it have been to create a different character model and made it a dude?
Yeah.
If that was their big issue. Not that hard. It wouldn't have been that much extra effort.
But anyways, that's stupid. They should have just had
a reskin and a voice.
They should have just let you be a lady and kept the story anyway.
Yeah, I don't get it because you could definitely do that before.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why would they take a gigantic step backwards?
I don't know. They were stupid. But that reminds me, Spider-Man had these cheat codes on the PS2, and you could play as like Mary Jane, or you could play as the Green Goblin.
The movie game?
Yeah. And the funniest thing for everyone was to play as Mary Jane and then have the big kiss scene with Mary Jane.
Amazing.
As Mary Jane. And so it's just Mary Jane kissing Mary Jane.
Love that.
It was the funniest fucking cheat code. Like, I miss cheat codes, man. They used to be hilarious. Big head mode and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh. I'm old. We're old. That's the point of this podcast, I guess, that we're old. Speaking of us being old, how do you feel about Scott Pilgrim turning 10? Well, at technically 11, but they had to push the 10th anniversary out because of COVID.
Honestly, I guess it doesn't bother me because I've had so many friggin' reality checks about how old I am that it's like, yeah, it's another thing.
Yeah.
Another thing means I'm old.
I feel so
old. Scott Pilgrim is still one of the greatest movies of all time.
It is. And games. And comics.
Yeah. I finally got the color version of all the comics, and I'm so happy.
Yeah. Well, now they're going to release a special edition soundtrack, which I have to get because one of my celebrity girlfriends, Brie Larson,
they're finally releasing her version.
They're finally releasing her version of Black Sheep, which they didn't do originally because they were like, she is on the movie, and she got the music video, but Metric was like, at least put our version on the soundtrack so people know we did it. And all
which, fair enough.
Yeah. And now they're going to release both versions on the deluxe soundtrack or whatever.
That, to just reflect my age even more, that was an album I bought on iTunes.
Yeah.
See, children, once upon a time, you had to physically purchase. You had to purchase things from the iTunes store.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays, you can just get Apple Music and everything on the iTunes store, practically. There are some asterisks.
Yeah.
Which, I have a bone to pick with Apple/iTunes.
Mm.
I had an album.
Mm-hmm.
I bought it in that same time period, my freshman college era.
Mm-hmm.
And for some reason, I don't own it because they decided they couldn't stream it, but you could still buy it in iTunes.
What the fuck?
And there's a lot of purchased music that I still have in my iTunes library, but for some reason it went, no, you never purchased this.
Well, I guess they did that to Ice Cube's wife too, and he was very pissed on her behalf, and he was like, gonna go to war with Apple over it.
Yeah, I mean, I get it because I was like, that was a $14 album I had to repurchase because they decided there was like contract, like issues.
Yeah.
With the music label themselves and not so much the artist or whatever. But they had other music.
Yeah.
That's what drove me nuts. I was like, there was this whole album and I was like, I feel nuts. I feel nuts because I know this album exists. I listened to it like on repeat. And it was just not in my library anymore. And I was like, this is, I wasn't what's it? Like, lime wiring music at that point. I was not physically buying it. I was buying it because I was like, that's the right thing to do. And then they did me dirty. I'm like, this is why people end up stealing music, because you fucking do them dirty. Anyway, now they have streaming services. It's way easier to just pay a small monthly fee than worry about viruses.
I never had iTunes, so I never experienced any of that. We couldn't afford anything to do with any of that.
I just always got gift cards at Christmas, and that's when I would do my big, this is my yearly new music dump. So I better plan accordingly.
On a slightly somber note, the creator of Berserk, Miura. Let me see his name. Miura Kentaro passed away. He had some sort of aortal incision. One of his pumps had a cut. I don't know how that happens. It's apparently not super common. But he passed away. He was only like 50-something. And a lot of people were paying tribute to him and talking about all the works he's experienced. I mean, he's influenced.
Oh, got it.
He's influenced a lot. Like, we wouldn't have, like, Cloud in Final Fantasy without him. Okay. Like, the big sword trope started with Berserk. And a lot of people look to Berserk for...
I was like, that was very violent. How did that translate to that? And that gets you the big sword.
Yeah, a lot of people look to Berserk for inspiration. Like, the writing style. And, the badass man with big sword and all that stuff. And the way the main character was influenced a lot of works. But people respected him. He seemed like a very nice man. And, it's sad that he passed away, but R.I.P. Miura Kentaro. You were pretty interested in the series, and you're starting to get into it. I had the first DVD at some point, and I was like interested.
Didn't they just do like a remake of the anime? Like, it wasn't that recently, but.
I think so.
Semi-recently, like within the last 5 years, we'll say.
I think so. But it's sad. He passed away and he was only like 50-something. And
yeah.
But,
well, not to like get into anything, but isn't like mangakas, isn't that what they call them?
Yeah.
Manga writers. They have like crazy crunch time.
Yeah.
So, especially where heart things are concerned, I always wonder if it's stress related.
It probably is. I don't know if he had crazy crunch time, but like, because I don't know how many issues of Berserk there are.
Yeah.
But like,
I would have meant it's been going for a long time.
Yeah. Well, like the guy who created Naruto. There's like hundreds of those. And he passed away due to stress and like lack of sleep and stuff.
Yeah.
It's a sad situation, and crunch time is not good in any field.
No. And I didn't realize, I had just read this recently, and I didn't fact check it. I don't know if it's 100% accurate or not, but apparently when your body goes into stress, it thickens your blood, which is why people who are under like high stress situations, like a lot, end up having heart attacks or like, having blockages in their hearts.
I can understand that.
Because your blood thickens, which I didn't know that. I was like, well, that I guess makes sense then. Yeah. But I didn't realize what the correlation was, I guess.
Yeah.
As to how stress could affect your body to the point that you would have a heart attack.
Yeah. Super sad.
Big sad.
But yeah, that happened super recently, like last week, or no, it actually happened
this week.
It actually happened early May, but it's another situation like when what's his name?
I was like, I think I just heard about it Monday.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people did. It's another situation like when MF Doom had passed away in October, but people were only just finding out like recently that he passed away. He's a rapper. He had passed away young, and it took months for anyone to find out. Probably in respect to like family and stuff. But
that I totally understand. The family deserves the time to grieve first before, you know.
But he passed away like early this month, and a lot of people are only just now finding out because I guess all the news sites are just now getting the go ahead to like talk about it and stuff.
Sure.
But yeah, everyone was finding that out recently. Back to happier things. If you're a fan of like Goosebumps and stuff, R.L. Stine is he's getting a deal with Netflix. So there's going to be 3 R.L. Stine movies called the Fear Street series or something.
That was a big book series.
Yeah, I remember I read some of that, and I remember there was a show too that I watched, which is shocking to me because the movies are going to be R-rated.
Cool. Yeah, because Fear Street was meant to be for like older.
Oh, okay.
Like an older demographic.
I remember.
Goosebumps was like the young one.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say Fear Street was for like adults, but I would say more like teen.
Yeah.
Centered, so it wouldn't shock me that they bump it up a little bit higher to an R-rated.
That makes sense. I fucking loved Goosebumps as a kid.
Say cheese or die.
Yeah, that was my favorite. Funny enough, Ryan Gosling was the
I remember
actor in the show for that episode.
I didn't see a lot of like Goosebumps the show, but I do remember that.
I definitely read all the books and stuff. But I saw some of the Goosebumps show, but not all of it. Yeah, I remember that intro and everything. But I remember seeing this episode of Fear Street. Because it was on a whole different channel, I think, than Goosebumps was.
Which makes sense. I feel like they'd want to keep it more separated.
But I
keep it separated.
I want to say it was on like the more teen, like when Seventh Heaven was on, like the
ABC Family, or before not the network, not the cable, but the network. So it'd probably be on WB.
I think it was on WB.
Seventh Heaven was on WB,
which is now like CW and stuff.
CW, yeah.
But
still teen shows.
After all the like cartoons and stuff, when they started showing teen shows and stuff, they showed Fear Street and stuff, and I caught an episode, and it was this kid, and you know at the time I still vaguely liked wrestling. Like I really liked the earlier 90s and stuff, but then I still kind of liked wrestling. This kid would lie. The story was he would lie, and people would just believe him. And then the story became he would lie, and then the next day the thing would happen. And I kind of remember. I think the teacher had something to do with it because he would believe this kid's craziest fucking lies. And one of the lies was I couldn't do my homework because like Sting attacked me in my house, and I'm like, boy, he is not gonna believe that. And the teacher believed him. I'm like, okay, what's happening here? And then Sting, this was in like his looks like the Crow phase, pops into. Did he have
another phase?
Well, he used to look like he was the American hero or whatever. He had like a blonde, spiked up hair. And he had more colorful like makeup. And this was a long time ago when his.
I had no idea.
This was early 90s and stuff. Sting was who got me into like wrestling and stuff.
Yeah.
His rivalry with Vader was a whole thing at that time.
See, I didn't watch it all. when he was like super popular.
Yeah.
I watched during like the Triple H Stephanie Vince McMahon nonsense.
He was like the Crow by that point.
Got it. And I only watched SmackDown. I never watched Raw.
I think at that time we all thought Sting was like quitting, and then he came back as like the Crow.
The Crow.
Well, I mean, he was straight up the Crow.
Yeah.
And he still did that like, woo, or, like not the same vein as like Ric Flair's woo. He did like a hoo kind of thing.
Because he's a bird.
Yeah. Anyways,
he's the Crow.
He's the Crow, but he used to do that like a long time ago too. When he was like the American hero or whatever, which I don't think he was really like marketed as an American hero, but he was very like, I don't know, like the good boy or whatever.
Like an action star.
Yeah, like an action star. And, like wrestling is very interesting because they all have like this character that they build up or whatever. And they have.
I think it's interesting though when they're like, okay, this character doesn't really work.
Yeah.
And then they just bring him back with this whole new image.
Yeah, with this whole new image. Like I think they did that with Kane a few times. And Goldberg.
You know who came out and his image worked?
Undertaker.
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
My fucking favorite wrestler right now. Like I still love the Undertaker. The Undertaker was randomly. I'm going off on a tangent, but I guess that's what the show is.
This is the whole podcast.
The Undertaker was randomly in this cartoon that I only discovered later in my adult life, but it was an MTV cartoon called Downtown. And it's like impossible to find because it was so obscure or whatever. And so they never made like DVDs or anything, but it was a good show. It was called MTV's Downtown. And it was basically like a slice of life kind of thing. And it had a character. The people who made it made Megas XLR. And it had a character that they brought over to Megas XLR to be in that show too. So they're kind of connected or whatever. But anyways, there was this episode where the main character goes to a convention and the Undertaker is there. And he voices his own character and he kind of like makes fun of himself and everything. I respect people more when they're able to laugh at themselves and stuff.
Yeah.
But... yeah.
And I feel like for the most part, wrestlers were pretty good about that.
Yeah. Wrestlers, for the most part, there are douchebags out there.
Right, but I mean, that's the same with anything. Yeah.
But I feel like the more, like, grounded ones actually ended up retiring. Right. Like, Undertaker ended up retiring.
I know, I watched... I'm pretty sure, I don't know if he ever came back, whatever, but... The one that they hyped that that was it. Yeah. That was his final WrestleMania. I watched it because I was like...
I think he might have come back, like, for some events or stuff. Like, nothing, like, permanent. Yeah. Like, I think Dave Bautista is talking about doing something like that.
That'd be cool.
Rock wants to do, like, one more kind of thing. But, yeah.
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Undertaker...
Like, just thinking about these people who went on to have, like, gigantic careers coming back, like, that would be insanity.
Remember pay-per-view?
Yeah. I mean, that's how you watched WrestleMania.
We're old.
Yeah.
Now it's just, like, go on this streaming site, but back then...
But, I mean, I think WrestleMania is still a pay-per-view.
Yeah. But I don't think anyone...
I don't know how to watch it, but I think it's a pay-per-view.
I don't think anyone does that anymore.
No, not the way they used to.
I think people now just figure out how to stream it on something.
Boxing, I think, still does pay-per-views. Maybe. I don't know.
But
and, like, the UFC fights, I think, are pay-per-views. But for, like, people who don't have cable, how the fuck you watch them?
I think you just watch it on, like, YouTube TV or something.
I guess, but I don't know how to get to pay-per-views there.
I don't know.
I don't even know if that's an option.
I don't think it is. I think it's just that you paid for the subscription, and so YouTube TV is like, okay, we're going to show it on this channel.
Yeah, but it don't work like that. It's like on top of whatever you've paid for.
Well, I don't know how that works then.
I don't either.
The pay-per-view became on-demand, and then on-demand just kind of phased out. But... what was I going to say?
Remember when you had to pay for movies on demand?
Oh my god. Oh my god, yeah. When
that was like post video store. But pre like streaming service.
God, I miss video stores. I stay at like 20,000 times on Twitter. Every week I'm like, I miss video stores, and everyone's like, shut the fuck up. But
is everyone like that?
Well, they just don't react to it. And I assume in my anxiety-riddled brain that everyone's like, shut the fuck up. Anyways, I miss video stores, and I know it's not like viable anymore or whatever, and it doesn't make sense because we all have streaming services, but there was something to be said about going in there, looking at all the cases, and then like picking up something that you would never have watched otherwise. Like, I can go through Netflix and everything and add things to my list, but I'm never gonna watch that fucking movie.
I know you do it every time we've gotten a new streaming service.
Yeah.
You make this point to like go through and add all these fucking movies and shows to your like library or whatever, and then rarely do I see you go back through and actually look at it. I'm like, what was the point?
But like when you go to a video store and you pick it up and you're like, oh, this looks interesting, and then you pay money, you pay like $5 or whatever.
Yeah, we went not that long ago. Well, I mean, pre-COVID, but
it was. Because now it's shut down. It's out of business.
I'm so sorry. It was probably like 2019.
Yeah.
But we watched this, we got a few movies, and they were all very good. And it was all strictly based on, well, the case looks interesting. I'm sorry.
And we watched a really interesting movie that way, starring John Cho.
That's the one I was thinking of.
And it
like
was
Searching or Knowing something.
It was either called Searching or Find Me or...
It wasn't Find. It was one word.
It was probably called Searching then. But basically his daughter goes missing, and he uses her internet history and all that, and discovers more about her and discovers more about himself, and he goes and finds it. They were talking about John Cho being... Cowboy Bebop, going to be in Cowboy Bebop.
Interesting.
Which good for them.
I was like, okay, so he's gonna be Spike.
Yeah,
cool.
He would be a good Spike, I think.
Yeah, it's Searching.
Searching was such a good movie, but I never would have found it otherwise.
Right.
We went to a place called Family Video.
It was one of those movies they played on like the TV, and I went, oh, that looks good. I want to see that.
We went to a place called Family Video, and at least the ones near us went out of business. And so I'm sad about that, but I miss the experience of going in, picking up a movie you would never watch otherwise, and you paid it, so there's the commitment, so you have to watch it before the time comes to bring it back. Mm-hmm. 'Cause there's late fees and all that. But I just feel like we're missing that. And I feel like there's a way to do it and not go out of business. I think these places are just not going about it right. And I wish I could do it, but I don't have the money to open a business like that. But anyways, I feel like people miss that kind of
What were we talking about?
We were talking about...
Oh, pay-per-views and blah, 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 blah. But mostly
R.L. Stine Fear Street led to this.
Because Sting was in it, okay.
Yeah. Anyways, I will forever miss that experience. And I wish more people would try to recreate that experience. Because Netflix ain't doing it for me, bro. Let's see. What can we talk about? Sonic 2 finished filming. That's exciting. That means soon we'll see Sonic 2.
I, like, honestly...
Knock, knock, it's Knuckles. Knock, knock, it's
Knuckles. Knock, it's Knuckles. That movie was surprisingly good for what it was.
I loved it. But you know me, I don't have the best taste in movies. In comparison to other people, I love terrible movies.
I liked it way more than Willys Wonderland.
I love Willys Wonderland. I love Chopping Mall. Like,
I don't have a problem with Chopping Mall.
I know.
You leave that one alone. That one was a good, bad horror movie.
You leave Willys Wonderland alone.
That one was a bad horror movie.
It was a good, bad horror movie.
Bad.
God, I loved Willys Wonderland. Anyways.
Sonic 2.
Sonic 2. They wrapped up on that, so that means we'll see
soon.
Knuckles on the big screen.
Isn't it interesting that Sonic brought COVID?
Huh?
Because that was like the last movie that came out prior to the theaters shutting down.
Well, you know, going through dimensions and stuff, and like he really fucked with us.
Yeah, he sure did.
Oh my god. I thought about this the other day.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how this will make you feel.
Oh no.
Isn't it interesting that kids today?
Oh god, we're old.
Yeah.
The fact that you started the sentence with kids today.
Kids today, we are very old. Don't know who Coach McGurk is.
Yeah.
They know Bob's Burgers.
They know Bob.
They know Bob Belcher of Bob's Burgers.
But no Coach McGurk.
They don't know who Coach McGurk is. If you said Coach McGurk to them, they'd look at you like, why don't you go get your walker, old man? Like,
is he your gym teacher or what the fuck?
Coach McGurk? Yeah, he was my gym teacher. He was all of our gym teachers. Respect Coach McGurk, okay? Home movies was underrated, in my opinion.
Yeah. I feel like it lasted. I don't think it was very long either.
No, I think it
really
maybe
stuck out.
Maybe 3 seasons.
Right.
But back in those days, children, the voice
Yes, old man.
the voice of Bob's Burgers, Bob Belcher.
Bob Burger.
Bob Burger. Who am I thinking of? And the voice of Archer, who...
Oh my god, I keep forgetting that.
Yeah. Who some people may not know anymore.
I don't know. It's so pretty relevant.
I guess. Was also Coach McGurk from a poorly animated kind of... I wonder if that was on purpose, the way it was animated.
I'm sure it was. I mean, they had good animation back then, so yeah, I'm sure.
But it was done by one dude.
Yeah.
Brendan Smalls, who named the main character after himself.
You made it. You get to name the main character after you.
He also has a connection to Metalocalypse because I don't know if he co-wrote it or whatever, but he is a guitarist and he did guitar work on Metalocalypse. He was a very talented musician and everything.
Huh.
But I want to say he played a big role in Metalocalypse, but I don't remember what he had to do with it. But Home Movies was a really funny cartoon, and it was like poorly animated and everything. It was like scratchy, kind of like shaky lines and stuff, kind of like Beavis and Butthead in a way, like early Beavis and Butthead. And they had like musical things in there too, like they had songs and stuff, and he played all the guitar for that.
Huh.
They had a song about Franz Kafka. He is Kafka, Franz Kafka. Be careful if you get him pissed. He'll hit you with his metamorphist. Franz Kafka.
Jesus.
Anyways. Yeah, I just thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
People don't know. Coach McGurk.
Coach McGurk.
Coach McGurk. They're talking about a new Batman animated series by Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, and Matt Reeves.
Okay, question.
Yes.
I know 2 of the 3.
I don't remember who Matt Reeves is.
Okay.
I know it's a big name.
Okay.
But Bruce Timm, I'm interested because I love his art style and all that.
But I have a question.
Yeah.
What's the new take? Because if it's just going to be Bruce Timm again,
I don't know.
He made the original Batman animated series.
My thing about it is...
Batman Beyond, for that matter, I'm pretty sure.
My thing about it is, not to discredit Bruce Timm or anything, because I love his art style, and he really made me want to do art and everything back in those days.
He, as far as I'm concerned, made the quintessential, Batman.
Yeah, but we all know his name. But no one talks about the fact that Paul Dini was the big writer of those, series.
Okay.
Paul Dini really crafted the story with his words and all that.
Sure.
But, so, I'm interested...
But imagery-wise?
Yeah, imagery-wise.
I'm that is Batman to me.
Yeah,
If you wanted me to name you which Batman is the real Batman to me, that would hit more...
Kevin Conroy.
That would hit more, and even just the style of Batman.
Yeah.
That hits more home than any of the live-action Batmans have. Until Robert Pattinson, of course.
Our homeboy, Robert Pattinson. if you listen and
I'll replace my quintessential Batman.
For
Batman,
you.
the animated series Batman. For you, thank you.
Anyways, I'm just interested because Paul Dini played a big role in how that Batman series tonally played out.
Uh-huh.
I'm interested to see what J.J. Abrams and Matt Reeves are going to bring to this and see what that looks like.
I'm going to look up Matt Reeves.
Yeah, look up Matt Reeves. But I feel like we're missing that Paul Dini.
He was a director? Is he making...
I guess he's making...
Okay, that makes
Batman.
sense then why he would be a part of
He's making...
We love him. Doing great. Okay.
He's making our Robert Pattinson Batman movie.
Is Let Me In the Americanized version of Let the Right One In?
Don't know. Maybe. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I hated that fucking movie.
Which one?
Both.
Okay.
It's such a hipster. You know what?
Interesting. It was Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah, no hate towards anyone who likes those movies, but I had to deal with too many hipsters who were
It'd probably be me.
You have to watch these movies.
Probably just say no hate to me because I would probably have made you watch it.
No, it was my half brother.
No, I know, but I'm saying I would probably fit right in with the people you're not directing hate to.
And he was like, "This movie's so good," and I was like, "I hate this movie. It's not good." Anyways, but take that with a grain of salt.
Oh my god, I was like, what? He was dead when this movie came out.
She's looking at the IMDb, and Ronald Reagan is credited as himself. But anyways, take that with a grain of salt because I did just say that I like Willys Wonderland. But all the artsy movies I'm not a fan of.
Oh god, he directed Cloverfield though.
He made Cloverfield.
He didn't write it, but he directed it.
He directed it. And the Cloverfield Paradox and 10 Cloverfield.
Apparently he made Felicity. He was a producer on Felicity.
Interesting. But anyways, I just got done beating Control, and Remedy being one of my all-time favorite companies that make video games. I wanted to see what they were up to because I'm like, I loved Alan Wake so much. I love Control. I still need to play the DLC to Control. I need to get the complete edition. But anyways, they're making 6 fucking games.
Damn. 6
games. They're like, we're developing 6 games that have yet to be released. Like, what the hell, man? Can't wait to see all those come out.
Yeah, no kidding.
I still need to play Max Payne as well. But Alan
Is that
Wake,
like the new one?
Max Payne?
Yeah.
No, that's the old. Oh,
they made the old?
Yeah, they made the old.
Okay.
They made Max Payne 1 and 2. I don't think they had anything to do with 3. They touched on the fact that they were talked to about the movie, but they didn't really have much to do with the movie. But I'm very excited to see what they have coming. 6 games, man. It's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have anything you wanted to talk about before we got to story time? Stories.
I don't think so. I think we hit a lot.
Yeah, I guess this episode isn't going to be super long, but I'll tell 3 different stories.
Okay.
Number 1.
Story time.
Did you ever have a high school bully?
Did I? No.
Or a bully?
I tried to cruise successfully between...
Me too.
I laid low, but I was nice to everyone.
Yeah.
Same. I was like, I didn't want any attention because usually if you got attention, that meant people would harass you.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to lay low.
Yeah.
And just be nice to everybody.
Same. But I didn't have a bully per se.
Mm-hmm.
There was just this one asshole in 9th grade who wouldn't leave me and Jacob alone.
I was so kind of nice to the person that... Actually, the mean kid...
Yeah.
Well, the mean kids, I had an in with one of them. Because we were, like, friends at, like, elementary school. And so I went... This is my saving grace.
So you weren't Lizzie McGuire, like you were friends with the person and then they became an asshole and you're not friends with them anymore?
No, yeah, it never really worked out like that. I was just, we had history, so they never really bothered me. I never really, got in their way. It was just cruised.
I really laid low and I didn't really have bullies or anything, but there was this one asshole, like, me and Jacob were eating lunch outside and all that. That might have been like sophomore year actually, because I don't think Glenn was there, and he went to a different school after 9th grade.
Was he real?
Yes, he was real. He went to a different school after 9th grade. He goes
to a different school, okay.
Oh my god. But me and Jacob had the same lunch or whatever, and this fucking guy, he was like, he had to have been either a 1 grade above us or a senior. So I have no idea why he kept coming to harass us, the younger kids, like an asshole.
It's easy.
And he would play it off like he was being our friends, but he was being a huge douche.
Yeah.
And I finally got tired of it, and I just like... I did the most nothing thing, but it pissed him off. I just like told him to fuck off, and I walked away like shooting him the bird. And he got so mad he started following me down the hall and talking about like, take off your glasses, I'm not gonna hit you while you're wearing your glasses.
Why?
And I'm like, dude, you're threatening me right here in the middle. And sure enough, a fucking teacher came over and told him like, go fuck off.
Right.
What the fuck is
wrong
with you?
In teacher speak.
Yeah, in teacher speak, they're like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah.
But I never saw that dude ever again. Anyways, that was a short story, but a story nonetheless. If you guys...
Yeah, because I'm thinking about, right?
Yeah.
I was like a smart kid, right? So since I had an in, right, with, we'll say the meaner crowd.
Yeah.
They knew I was smart, so at worst they would just ask for help with shit.
Yeah.
And that was like my coast. I was like, I'll help you with your shit so you don't like get a bad grade or whatever.
Yeah.
And that was it. That was fine. I was like, if that makes my high school experience less miserable,
yeah,
I'm good with it.
Well,
because people are assholes, dude.
Yeah. I was a really weird dude. I was a miserable. And my high school years were like the worst years of my life. And
I don't think they're great for anyone.
It was like the height of my depression. Yeah. I was at my worst.
I know yours was like bad because of that in particular, but
I weirdly like, and they never like told me to fuck off or anything. I want to say it was like my 3rd year of high school or whatever. Yeah, I think it was 3rd year. And I went outside and hung out with the seniors.
Okay.
There was this group of seniors, and looking back now, they were all just like goth anime fans or whatever the fuck, but people were really intimidated by them because they had like piercings and stuff. And they dressed all in black and whatever.
Yeah.
But I used to go out there and eat lunch with them and just chill out with them, and I don't even know how that started. I barely remember high school, to be honest, because I blocked most of it out. It was a miserable experience.
Right.
But anyways, I don't even know how I started hanging out with them. I just randomly went up to them and started just chilling with them or whatever. And I just hung out with them a lot, and they never told me once to fuck off because they were the older kids and I was this little snot-nosed asshole who would just come and eat lunch and barely speak.
Yeah.
But,
that was my main thing. I just...
Yeah.
I had certain people I talked to.
Yeah.
But other than that, I just tried to keep my head down and...
Yeah.
Not really
I was going through some real shit, so I did a lot of stupid things. But
yeah,
a lot of people thought I was on drugs because I had long hippie hair or whatever, which I do now again, and I never spoke to anyone, and because like I was depressed, so I was really like I looked sleepy, and people didn't understand depression. Mm-hmm. My eyes were always like sad, and they took it as tired or whatever, but and teachers didn't understand it or anything. That's a whole other story. But anyways, they thought I was on drugs because I was really into the Doors at the time too, and I wore like Doors shirts and stuff, and they just thought I was this hippie doing drugs or whatever. But I didn't do drugs while I was in high school. Did drugs after. But that was high school was a weird experience for me. Not a good one. And I'm gonna embarrass myself here, and talk about some really stupid shit I did. So, I had this hoodie that my dad gave me. It was like a biker hoodie. I used to always dress warm. Really stupidly, because if it would be like really hot, I'd still wear my jacket. I wouldn't take it off. Yeah. That was this broody little moody asshole. Yeah.
You're a broody little shit.
Anyways, I had this hoodie that my dad gave me. It was like a biker hoodie or whatever. It had like a Harley Davidson skull thing on the front and everything. Well,
I think that's so funny that your dad had that.
Yeah. Well, I wanted to make statements. And so I took masking tape. And I would put words on the back of my hoodie and wear it to school. And I would get picked on so hard, like
because you took masking tape and put it on your hoodie.
Well, I had just discovered. This is how stupid I was. I'm just so like this is embarrassing. But this is how stupid I was. I was a dumb little fucking teenager.
We all were. Don't worry.
I fucking like. I remember Susie talking about wearing a wedding dress to high school. I did
amazing
equivalent embarrassing things. I fucking had just discovered Pantera. And Dimebag had been dead for years at this point.
What did you do?
I wrote R.I.P. Dimebag in masking tape.
Love that.
On the back of my hoodie.
That's such a teenage thing to do.
I was in journalism class. And, I didn't want to be there, but the teacher had convinced me to go because she liked my writing in English. She liked my writing a lot. But I definitely did not want to be in that class. I hated it. And the only reason I stayed another year was because I had a crush on one of the girls or whatever. But nothing came of that.
High school, hell of a time.
Anyways, I shouldn't have stayed that second year because I was really miserable then too. But anyways, I put R.I.P. Dimebag on the back of my hoodie. And I remember one of the girls came up to me, and because she was like kind of the leader or whatever, she was more like put together than the rest of us.
Sure.
And she was
trying... Was she like the editor?
Yeah, she was trying to be the editor or whatever. Really, Miss Grebel was the editor, but she was like...
They always have like a student that's...
But she was very much like the leader of the class and everything. And she came up to me because I'm sure Miss Grebel asked her like, what the fuck is wrong with him? But I would always come in and sit down and put my head down. Like, I didn't really want to be there. I didn't really want to do anything. I was so depressed, and I would skate by doing the bare minimum. And everyone else in that class hated me because I was not helpful to them at all. But anyways, she came up to me and was like, is that like a drug term? Or because Dimebag is a drug term. And I didn't think...
Oh, no.
I never thought twice about it. And I was like, no, he was a guitarist and he got killed on stage. And she was like, oh, okay. And like, she did not stick around for the rest of the story.
She's like, I don't care, just whatever, as long as it's not drugs.
Yeah, she was like, whatever, I'll tell Miss Scrabble that it's not drugs. But yeah, that happened.
I'm surprised you got away with that.
I'm surprised I did too, because...
What else did you put in masking tape?
I'm trying to remember that because I don't remember.
Did you do it like every day?
I did it for a week.
Okay, good.
It was like every day for a week.
Me, secondhand embarrassed for you. I'm like, oh no.
I was such a fucking stupid ass. I did so many stupid things. I'm not proud of anything I did in high school.
No one is, don't worry.
I'm not proud of anything I did for like 20 years, I think. 21 plus years.
Probably like close to 30 years. I'm not proud of any. No, I'm kidding.
I'm about to turn 30 and, you know, like when I turned 12, 13, we'll say, is when my like depression started, but I didn't understand that that's what was happening.
Of course not.
I stopped being me. And from like 12, 13 until like, we'll say 21, 22, I wasn't really me. Like, I snapped out of depression, which doesn't really happen for most people. It was a miracle for me. I had snapped out of it just before I met you online.
Mm-hmm.
And it was the weirdest thing. It felt like I had been asleep for years. And I had just woken up and was like me again. I picked right up where I left off at 11.
Uh-huh.
And I'm sure that's not everyone's experience. But I'm just like describing how things went with me. Is everything was different after that. Like, I just felt like I was asleep watching myself exist.
Putting masking tape on your
putting masking tape on it. Not being able to deal with my emotions, being extra sad, not understanding why I was sad, not understanding why I was angry. I was angry at the wrong people. I regret everything I did. I like told my mother I hated her, and I'll never forgive myself for that. And like, I told my brothers that I hated them, and I'll never forgive myself for that.
Now, here's what I will say. You gotta be more gentle on yourself for that kind of stuff. Because especially in your teenage years, not only is, you know, depression very common and all that, you're going through puberty. Your body's like fucking with you, really.
Yeah.
And it's very common for you as a teenager who doesn't know how to cope with your emotions to say things you don't mean. And I would argue that 99% of people understand that and don't sit there and hold it against you.
Yeah, I hate myself for what I've done and how I've been.
But that's not productive.
I know, but it's just, I feel like I was such a douchebag for a long time. And
nobody holds it against you.
Such an asshole. Well, they must not, because they're still sticking around
exactly.
with me. But,
so, it could be a combo, right, of you're blowing it up way worse than you think it is, which, if, you know, mixed with depression, that's probably part of it.
It could be.
Because you're always harder on yourself than...
But, like,
But saying the things you don't mean, I'm sure your mom has done it.
Yeah.
I'm sure your friends have all done it. It's not uncommon.
But,
so don't beat yourself up over it.
You know, I talk a lot on this show and on Twitter and in life about my 5 brothers, and they're not my blood brothers, but they may as fucking well be, and I'll always refer to them as my brothers. But I bring that up to say, not only say that they've stuck with me through everything and been there for me when no one was, and when my mom couldn't really be because I shut her out so much, and like she tried so hard and I was not easy to be around and everything.
And you were going through it.
But I not only to bring that up, but also bring up a funny story about how I met Tyler, who's like one of the closest people to me in my life and I love more than anything. And but I met him through my other brother Glenn, who I also love more than anything and would do anything for. And I don't say that enough, but I probably should say that more. But, you know, dudes are stupid and we don't really say that kind of thing often. Anyways, my point is, I met Tyler through Glenn. And before we met, sounds like you guys are going to get like 4 stories this time. Before we met, everyone was like, at first they were like, you have to meet Tyler. And I was like, okay. And then everyone started spinning this narrative of he wants to fight you. And I was like, I've never met the motherfucker. And then they were telling him that I wanted to fight him.
Did you ever find out why?
No.
Just for like
it was just
shits and giggles?
It was just like a small town stupid shits and giggles bullshit, I think. But they were telling him that I wanted to fight.
Like, did they genuinely believe this rumor?
I don't think either one of us genuinely believed.
Not you, but like the people spreading it, did they genuinely believe it? Or was it just like...
Maybe like one or two who didn't really know either one of us. Because it was such a small town. Ellaville was such a small town that like word travels fast or whatever. And so like they would tell him that I wanted to fight him, and they would tell me that he wanted to fight me. Mm-hmm. When neither one of us said anything remotely like that. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like anticipating meeting this dude
who wanted to
fight me, and I'm just like, how do I defuse this situation, because I don't want to fight this motherfucker. So anyways, I went and I met him, and it was very brief. The first time I met him, he went, "Hi, I'm Tyler." He held his hand out, and we just like shook hands. I was like, I'm Dustin. And then we just like separated. That was it. We just went our merry way. I was like, okay. That happened. And then the second time I ever met him was in a Walmart, and I was wearing a Street Fighter shirt, and he walks up to me, and I'm there with my mom. We had to stop at Walmart for some reason, and I'm there with her, and I'm wearing a Street Fighter shirt, and he walks up to me and he goes, "Can I have your shirt?" And I said no. And then we just kind of separated again. And then he started showing up at Glenn's when I would go over to Glenn's and stuff. And, I was really, really, really going through it and, like, not okay. And already pushing away, trying to, in my own stupid, depressed head, trying to push away the friends that I did have and my brothers.
You don't talk so mean to yourself.
I can't help it. My brothers
I'm going to keep getting on you.
My brothers that were around me, I would like try to push them away and tell them like I hated them and like talk shit about them, when of course I didn't mean any of that.
Right. Teenage bullshit.
Yeah, and he would like keep trying to hang out with me, and I'd be like, dude, like, you don't want to be around me right now. Like, I'm going through it. I'm not the best to be around. You don't want to hang out with me. Just kind of fuck off. And he would be like, okay, so what day you want to hang out? Like, he would be relentless with it, and I'm so happy that he was, because like he's become one of the closest people with me in my entire life, and we just clicked like instantly. And but I just thought it was funny that I would be like, fuck off, and he'd be like, all right, so when am I coming over? And so we just, I don't know, we started hanging out from then on. He would like try to get me to like break down my walls, because he knew I liked Bam a lot. Mm-hmm. And he'd be like, you remind me of Bam, and stuff like that. I knew that I didn't remind him of that motherfucker. Right. But he was like trying to appeal to my ego and stuff. Sure. And like be like, you remind me of Bam. And I think I asked him straight up one time, like, how? And he was like, I don't know, you just do. And then we just move on. Uh-huh. He's a very charming dude. And so he was able...
It was so funny because, like, I remember when I came down to visit you and I met Tyler, I was like, I remember being super nervous because I was like meeting all your friends that first time, and I'm like, oh, this is an introvert's nightmare. Not only did I like physically meet you for the first time, right? Like, we had talked on the phone, whatever, up until that point. Yeah. But like, I had to deal with all in like a week. I had to deal with meeting you, meeting all your friends, all of this, and I'm like, this is a lot. This is a lot. But Tyler, I would say, number one, the first time I met him, I was like totally comfortable with him. I was like, this is someone that I'm not super stressed about. Yeah. Which is good because he was, like, staying with us, but I'm like, Jesus.
Tyler, me and him always felt the closest. Not to say that we're not, the whole group isn't close, but, like, we just vibe together more. And it was just like an instant click thing. And he's a very charming dude, like, and very, maybe he doesn't feel it, but he looks like he feels it. Very confident man. I remember before I moved in with you to Minnesota, me and him and my mom, like, as sort of a last hurrah before I moved out or whatever, went to Florida. We went to Dustin to stay at my Aunt Susan's hotel room thing. She gets like a timeshare thing or something.
Okay.
I don't know how it works, but every so often she gets like a free hotel room at this really cool hotel or whatever. But anyways, we went there to stay, and Tyler being super charming and like confident, we were like we wanted to go swim in the pool, but the pool was in an indoor building, kind of like the hotel had like separate buildings. It was kind of like an apartment complex, but a hotel. So there was like a hotel building A, hotel building B, hotel building C, or whatever. And in one of those was the pool, but we didn't know which one. So we had to ask the concierge or whatever. And she was
How
like...
exotic.
She was like, oh, it's in like building C. And Tyler just looks at her and goes, you're very pretty. Like, without skipping a beat. And I was like, you can just do that? You can just tell people they're pretty with confidence like
Meanwhile, I'm going back to before you told me you liked me, and you're like sub-posting.
Yeah, like, I don't know how to be confident.
Prior to sub-tweets, there was sub-posts on Tumblr.
Yeah, like, I don't know how to be confident and, like, just straight up be like, yo, you got a boyfriend? Or anything like that.
Yeah, it was Tom.
That's right. You had Tom in your profile picture, and I was scared that was your boyfriend. And turned out Tom's gay. So that wasn't happening.
No.
But I didn't know what to do. Luckily, it worked. So my sub-posting worked. I just knew you liked the same things I liked. And I didn't know how to start that conversation.
You did, though, because I was like, I'm not going to do it.
It worked out in the end.
I think you went on anonymous.
Anonymous. Did I?
I think so.
Oh, no.
You would ask questions.
Oh, no. How did that work?
Dustin. How did it work?
I don't know.
You don't?
I don't know. How did that work?
Right, pretty quick here, he's going to pass me a note and ask, do you like me? Check yes or no. How did it work?
How did it work? Do you like me, or do you just like
me? How'd
it go? Anyways, we did everything wrong, too. You came down by yourself.
Oh my god,
to meet a random stranger.
Yeah. But I had enough money in my bank account that if I needed to buy a plane ticket immediately back, I could.
Yeah. You did not stay at a hotel. You stayed with us.
Yep.
His
mom carded me.
Oh my god. She was like, what if she's like 14 or something? I'm like, I don't think she's 14. I'm pretty sure she's the age she told me.
Yep.
We were very stupid.
I knew all these things. I watched Catfish.
Yeah, we did. Well, I did everything stupid. I told my mom. And
well, also, you were going, I don't have a webcam.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have watched Catfish enough. Are you serious?
I think... How did I end up getting one?
I think I sent you an old one.
Oh, you sent me an old one?
Yeah. Because I had like a laptop at that point that had one.
I was at Jacob's with his shitty like internet or whatever, and nobody there had a webcam. And I think the only person who had a laptop was his mom, and I didn't know anything about laptops having cameras or anything.
Yeah, and not all of them did at that point.
Well, I think theirs did, but also I don't think she was going to let me use her laptop for anything.
Right.
But anyways.
But even just for the check, just be like, use it once and be like, hello.
Yeah. But we did everything wrong. And
You did send me, like, well, I guess,
You can always send fake pictures, yes.
It tells you can send fake pictures,
but I didn't have any
reason to believe they weren't.
We did talk on the phone, which is another indication, like...
I did Facebook stalk you through your friends.
Oh, yeah?
So, there's that.
There's
you know how I found you?
How?
The easiest way? All of your friends have pretty generic names, except for one.
Tyler?
No.
Glenn?
No.
Addison?
No. Addison I thought was a girl, though. Because the only Addisons I knew were girls.
Who didn't have a generic name? Jacob?
No. Halim?
Oh, yeah, Halim.
How about...
It's just all normal to me at this point. Halim is a white... let me just... Okay, Halim is white. His name is Halim Robert E. Lee Star Abdul Jabbar or something like that.
No, that's a basketball player.
Maybe I'm mixing that with like Shane's fake name on Facebook or whatever. Anyways, he has like 12 middle names, and his first name is Halim, and his last name is Slayton. But he's he's still skinny, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's a skinny white kid. He just had like hippie parents who named their kids weird things.
And their names increased.
But no one...
As they got younger.
No one would believe me when I told them Halim was a white kid.
No, I didn't.
My parents didn't at all. I was like, yeah, Halim's coming over, and he's that pale kid over there. And they were like, what? I was like, yeah, he's that pale kid over there.
I mean, growing up where I grew up, I was like, it's not...
Yeah.
It wasn't like an uncommon name or anything for me. I'm like,
yeah.
I've met people of all cultures. And then I went, that is a white boy.
Yeah.
What?
He just like, he's
And that's his name?
I don't know that, I don't think he's that pale anymore, but he used to be like ghostly white. So that was even funnier to tell people like, that's Halim. And he's American.
You know how I Facebook stalked you?
Uh-huh.
The only pictures I could find was Snow Day. That stupid fucking Snow Day, my dude.
I really didn't use Facebook that much.
No, but I thought it was so funny.
Sometimes...
You and your little fucking mostly dirt snowman.
Well, I lived in Albany, and like it didn't really snow there. It snowed twice in my lifetime while I lived there, and you would barely get snow, and it would last like a few hours. And,
but better call out the school day.
Yeah, and we made a snowman, and it was like a little
build a snowman?
A little lumpy ball of dirt.
It wasn't even a foot.
No. And we took a picture with it. We were so proud.
I know.
But anyways, I love Halim to death. I love all my brothers to death. I just think it's funny that his name is Halim, and no one believes me when I say he's a white kid or white man now.
Yeah, he's a white man.
Anyways.
But yeah, I remember that I was like, against my better instincts. I went, I'm gonna go. I don't have any reason to like not believe him.
Yeah.
He's been pretty forthcoming.
Yeah.
About everything.
But, don't do what we did.
No, never do what we did. Especially nowadays when everything has a fucking camera. Everything. Yeah. Like, there's absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
We were at that perfect time where I'm like, it is still plausible.
Yeah.
You didn't have it.
Yeah.
So I was like, alright.
But, what a weird time. But anyways, I had another story.
Uh-huh.
Another tale to tell. I don't know how well you knew your principal at your high school.
One of them we called Pop-Tart.
Our principal was kind of a I don't want to say local celebrity or anything. We all just knew him because he was a huge nerd.
Okay.
His name was Principal Dowling, and he was a really cool dude. But we found out later that he played D&D,
Love that.
And he played a lot of WoW. And
do you think he got angry at people for not putting in as much WoW time as he did?
No, hell no. He was a nice dude. He always had these dark circles under his eyes because you could tell.
Because he played WoW too late that night.
I think he was just dealing with a lot. There were a lot of assholes at my school, and like he was dealing with like.
And he was playing WoW.
He was dealing with like kids trying to smuggle in drugs and like alcohol and stuff. And it was just a rough time for him, but he was a really cool dude, and I appreciate him for being as cool as he was because it helped me like through times that. You know, situations that were fucked because of my depression and stuff and things that I was going through, and he, without like prying too much, was there for me and my friends and stuff.
That's a good principle.
Yeah. But it was so funny because in 9th grade when Glenn was still there at Lee County High and he...
So yours was 9 through 12? Or?
Yeah, ours was 9 through 12.
Okay.
And now it's separated... So many people go to the Lee County schools instead of the Albany schools. Now there's a 9th grade academy before you go to the high school.
I have a question, though.
Uh-huh.
How does that... I guess it takes a whole grade out, so that's how it solves it. Okay.
Yeah, there's more room now.
Right.
But anyways...
I was going to say, it's all still the same amount of kids coming through, but not really.
No. But anyways... Glenn was still there in 9th grade, and then after that he moved to Ellaville. And went to that high school and met Tyler and all them. And that's how I met Tyler.
And for the city folk
yeah,
like me, it's not like these places are like 15 minutes apart.
No, they're like...
Hours.
Ellaville is 45 minutes away from Leesburg.
Me. Hours. Well, yeah, that would be close to like 2 hours then.
Yeah. But...
I'm thinking from Albany.
It wasn't like... I hated that Glenn moved away, but it wasn't like I didn't see him.
No, it's not far enough that...
Because I would go to his house and hang out with him in Ellaville, and also he would still come to Jacob's. Jacob's was like the quintessential house that everybody would come to and like hang out, and we would all see each other. We all basically lived there, and two of us, besides Jacob, obviously, actually lived there for a time, me and Halim.
What do you mean Jacob lived at his house?
His mom was surprisingly chill with me and Halim randomly living there. Halim lived there, and then his grandfather passed away and left him a house or something, or left his dad a house, and his dad was like, you can basically take it. And so Halim kind of lived there and at Jacob's for a while, and I stayed at Halim's house for a little bit and stayed at Jacob's mostly. But anyways, I digress. Before Glenn moved, he was in 9th grade with us, and we all miraculously had the same lunch together. Me, Glenn, Jacob, Addison, and Halim.
That's a rarity.
Yeah, it was super rare. It just worked out perfectly that year.
Sometimes I didn't even have lunch with any of my friends. I was like, this sucks, dude.
Well, the years after, it would either be Addison or Jacob, but it would never be like Halim. Once it was Halim. But anyways, we're all chilling, and at the time I was playing a lot of Diablo 2.
Diabler.
And this was like kind of late to be playing Diablo 2. My cousin Shane played it a lot, and then later I finally got it. And so I was talking to them about how I was playing Diablo 2, and out of nowhere, behind me, I hear a really deep adult voice. Oh yeah, I played that. And I turn around, it's my fucking Principal Dowling talking.
Isn't it weird, like when you were like a kid?
Yeah.
When adults were like, "Oh, I like this thing that you like too."
Yeah,
you're like,
so,
really?
I'm so weirded out. That
it was like when I had an English teacher.
Yeah.
Talk about how her favorite song was a Green Day song, and I was like, and this wasn't like a young teacher either. This was like an older lady, and I was like, wow, that's pretty cool. Good for you.
But I think, I mean, I'm sure you understood I was a kid. I think I was like kind of I wasn't like an asshole. I was just like very like silent all of a sudden.
Well, not only is he an adult, right? but he's also like the utmost authority figure in the school. So I don't know what he expected.
I don't know. It was so weird. But he was a cool dude.
I'll be real with you.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about our principal we had like towards the end of our high school years.
Yeah.
We had one for like the first half or the first year, I guess. We only got 3 years. And then the principal we had in middle school moved up to our high school. Yeah. He was like this Scottish dude. Uh-huh. But he was so cool. Nobody was really intimidated by him, but he could be intimidating.
Yeah. Well, our
principal
he was super cool, and like I drew one year, I think it was my senior year. I drew him as like a WoW character.
That's amazing.
It wasn't very well drawn, but I drew him with like a sword and shield.
That's awesome.
And me and Jacob was with me when I handed it to him.
Did he say, "I don't play this class"?
Yes!
Did he?
He was like, "Oh, well, normally I don't play sword and shield, but this is really cool. Thank you. I'll put this."
Did he ever tell you what he played as? Now I want to know.
I can't remember. I think he did.
Damn.
But I don't remember what it was. I just remember him being like, "This is really cool. Thank you. I'm playing this in my office."
That's amazing.
And but normally I don't really play this class. I don't really play sword and shield, but
I love that.
It's still really cool. Thank you.
I love that, and that's how you knew he was true.
Yeah, and like I had written that his name was the Dallinganator on the fucking page.
I hope he made a character.
I hope he did too, but he was super cool. I liked Principal Dowling a lot, and like but it was so funny because one year it was senior year. It was like towards the end. It was just before that snow day. Me and Addison had the same English class together.
Yeah.
And that was rare because Addison always had the AP classes, and senior year he, I guess, just didn't bother with it.
Yeah.
But
I get that. Sometimes you want to have an easy time.
Yeah, we had the same English class together, and we're just chilling, and Principal Dowling starts doing this like announcement, and it sounds eerily similar to Liam Neeson's speech in Taken, and me and Addison look at each other and we're like, he just watched Taken like literally 5 minutes ago and is saying the exact same words. He was talking about like the students who were smuggling drugs and alcohol into the class. He didn't say I would kill you. He was like, "You are a tumor. I will find you and I will remove you." And he said, other than that, he said the speech word for word.
I love that he was like, "You know what? This will work great. Yeah. I'm just gonna go ahead and make it relevant." And this way they'll really listen. So I just imagine he was like, I'm gonna write down the speech and then I'm gonna fix it to my needs.
And me and Ashton looked at each other and we're like, that's Taken. He just said Taken to us.
He just said Taken to us.
But yeah, that's my Principal Dowling story.
At least he wasn't gonna kill y'all. That's good.
Well, me and Ashton weren't doing it.
It's true.
But I have one more story for everyone, then we can get to the shout-outs.
Okay.
This is a lovely story, another celebrity story, because I have so many of those.
Which is so weird for your small little town.
Isn't it, though? I grew up in Albany, a lawless...
Yeah, lawless.
lawless savage land.
I love how you make it sound like it's this teeny tiny little nothing town. It has like...
It's a city.
But it has like a mall.
It's just big enough to be a city, but too small really
It's the
to be
biggest
a
city in the area.
But,
I think.
It's, I guess, the next city is like Columbus, is like 2 hours away.
Yeah.
And America's what really wasn't that much...
No.
It wasn't even as big as...
That's like a kind of...
Yeah.
No offense. If anybody's there, it's kind of like a novelty kind of place. You know what I mean? Because it has like the little antiques and blah, 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 blah.
But,
it's kind of cutesy.
Something about the women from Albany, I guess, attracted certain celebrities. Because our high school band teacher... And I say Albany, and it kind of includes Leesburg, because Leesburg, everyone who went to Lee County really just went back to Albany. But, like, we lived in Albany But anyways, our band teacher in Lee County High, his sister was married. I don't know if they're still married, but was married to Keegan Michael Key. Mm-hmm. And my English teacher from middle school, his sister.
Did you have to walk to school when you lived in Leesburg? This is random.
I might have a couple times. I didn't have to.
Okay. Did they have a bus or did you get a ride?
Yeah, we had a bus.
Okay. I was like, it's kind of far, but I could
for
see.
For middle school, I would take the bus. I think high school, Maggie or Dad would drop me off, and then sometimes I would just walk.
Yeah.
It was really not that far.
Yeah. Now that I know where it is,
yeah
I was like, you were kind of close enough that you could have.
It was super cool, though. In graduation, Jacob wasn't ready to go yet, and I was like, I'll just go ahead. And then I left and started walking that way, and then these seniors who were also graduating with me, who I had never met, but they were super cool. They like pulled over and they were like, "Hey, hop in. We're heading the same way." And I was like, "Okay, cool." And I just
then they kidnapped you.
I just got in, and then they were all like super excited about graduating and everything, and they just didn't really like. They could tell I was shy. They didn't really make me have to talk or anything. They just like, nice. I was just like, "Thanks for the ride," and they're like, "Oh yeah, no problem." And then they we all went together, and that was a cool experience. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh
yeah.
My English teacher in 8th grade, I want to say, his sister was at the time, I don't know if they're still married to Dave Matthews, and. So I guess in the holiday times, Dave Matthews would visit Georgia. He would visit Albany a lot. And see her family and everything. And so I guess one year, we had this place called Honey Baked Ham. And it was just like, a meat shop, a sandwich shop or whatever. And he...
can I tell you? Uh-huh. I never knew, until we lived here or whatever... I'm sure we had honey baked ham in Minnesota too. It was just not something I looked for. We still have those gift cards, by the way.
Yeah, we do.
But I didn't know you could go there and order sandwiches and whatever. I thought it was just you would go there and get your holiday ham.
Yeah, my mom used to like to go get sandwiches there, I think.
Huh. I bet they're good. Their ham is good.
But for some reason he was picking something up there or something. I guess they liked honey baked ham or whatever.
Sure.
And he's in line.
And it was holiday time, so it extra checks out.
He's in line, and this old lady in front of him turns around and looks at him. And then she turns back around and looks forward or whatever. And then she turns around and looks at him again, and she goes, "You look just like Dave Matthews." And he went, "I am Dave Matthews." And she went, "No, you look like him though." And that was it.
Could you imagine? And I bet, to this day, this lady doesn't know that was,
It was honest to God Dave Matthews. He came to Albany a lot at the time.
Yeah, unless, through the grapevine, she found out, this person was married to him.
Yeah. But that was amazing.
She will go through her life with, assuming she never found out, thinking nothing of it, really.
Yeah. And I honestly can't believe, I love Dave Matthews. I cannot believe that man was in my fucking town for a number of years, and I had no idea until my teacher, Mr. Green, who was such a cool dude. I loved Mr. Green. He really helped me with my writing and all that in 8th grade, and he was such a nice guy and always made sure I was okay and everything. But anyways, I had some really cool teachers. I had some asshole ones, but I had some really cool ones.
Oh my God, I can think of one asshole teacher that I never want to think of again.
Yeah.
He was an old grouchy man.
Yeah.
And had a pointer stick that he used to shoot like a gun.
Oh my God. But
he hated this one kid.
Oh God.
He was very outspoken and it just drove him fucking nuts. I loved it. I was like, this man is the most annoying. When you have those teachers who do not care how you learn, he wants to just
Oh, yeah. I had those in college,
He
too.
was a lecturer.
A lecturer.
So, it wasn't there wasn't a lot of activity in the class. Yeah. I mean, hell, even if it was just, like, read the book on your own time, that'd be fine by me. Yeah. But no, he would just talk, and I'm like, ugh. I hate this. I'm like, I just can't. If someone... I have trouble, like, being taught things that way. Yeah. I'm much more of, like, a doer. I'm deaf, so I can't... Yeah, that's a bad... I can't do it. And I had a teacher like that, and I only went to college for, like, one semester, and I had... My math teacher at the time was an asshole. He reminded me of Jake Gyllenhaal, the way he looked and kind of talked. Like a really skinny Jake Gyllenhaal. But he... was such an asshole and like wouldn't really let anyone ask questions or anything. He was like, "You're in college, you should know by now," and all that. And I'm like, "You're not." That's a horrible teacher. Yeah, you're not a good teacher, and because even if you're in college, there can still be things you missed or didn't quite understand. And so I didn't like that. I had a calculus teacher that was obsessed with The Darkness. Yeah, The Darkness. The band. Oh, you remember? No. I think that was their name. I believe in a thing called love. Maybe, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure that was their name. It was the weirdest, like, tidbit. I was like, alright. Darkness. Dark things of the night. Yeah, it wasn't a moss, like, darkness. It was the band, The Darkness. And... they had that one song, but he loved them. I was like, all right. He was like a younger dude. Yeah. But I was just like, okay. I hate that. That song. I hated that song. Did you? Yeah. I don't know why. It just hit me in the bad part of my ear. I didn't like the bad part of your ear. Anyway, back to that though. It's like when I hear, like when people expect me, I know you're deaf, so that's a whole different story, but when I'm supposed to be, like, listening and learn things, it doesn't work. No. It just gets jumbled up in my brain. Yeah. And I get really anxious about it because I try and, like, take notes, right, as I'm going, but they talk too fast and I miss things, and then I get too stressed out and I can't deal with it. Then it's especially worse. It'd be fine if, like, I could go back to my textbook or whatever. Yeah. But sometimes they teach things completely outside of the textbook. And I'm like, I don't know. I missed it. And unless they were writing like the tidbits right on the board. Yeah. I was fucked. I was absolutely fucked because I was like, I can't do what you're wanting me to do. Yeah. I can't listen and like take notes and like do all that and make it make sense. Yeah. That was rough. Yeah, I had difficulty with shit like that, too. Yeah. But Mr. Green was cool, and apparently Dave Matthews was in Albany a lot. Love that. I don't know if he still is married to her, or if he is, if they still visit Albany at all, but that was a cool story, and I enjoyed that very much. Just a funny story. And then that person had the audacity to go. And then I found out. I'm not. Yeah. I mean, you're not. Yeah. But you look like him. But you look like him. And then I found out years later from Halim, who was friends with our band teacher, because our band teacher was super cool and like supportive, and Halim at the time was pursuing like a music career of sorts, and they would talk a lot and everything. I found out that Keegan was married to his sister. I was like, what the fuck, dude? What is with all these celebrities being married to Albany women? Anyways, that was funny. That was cool. Anything else before we do our shout outs and all that? I don't think so. Alright, well, I wanted to shout out, speaking of Halim, my brother, I wanted to shout out, he has a store. If you're ever in Albany, he has a place. Or in the Southwest Georgia area. Or in the Southwest Georgia area. He has a place called The Cool Place. It's a gaming store
/ activity place kind of thing in Albany.
They do like tabletop games. Yeah. They have, I think, a pool table now.
They have VR.
They have VR headsets.
They have a pinball machine.
Crane games.
Yeah. And
they have
a little game store inside where you can buy games and stuff and movies.
They got Guitar Hero and
they have
Rock Band.
Guitar Hero, Rock Band.
Set up on like a big, like a projector TV. Yeah. So it's really cool.
They also have food sometimes, and they have
a bar.
They have a bar with some really cool craft beer, local craft beer. And they have arcade cabinets. I don't know if he still has he has a multi-cab, but I think he's kind of trying to get rid of it because it's causing a lot of problems. But he does have like a Street Fighter 2 cab and another multi-cab that I don't think was causing any issues really. Yeah. But they have all kinds of stuff for everyone to do, and they have Pokemon cards and Magic the Gathering cards.
They do their Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
They get in a lot of like the like big collectible sets.
Yeah. And they also occasionally get sports cards. I think they have like some baseball cards and stuff. But they also have like Warhammer figures and paints, and they have all kinds of stuff. Like, it's a really cool place to stop by.
They do like the gaming nights, however they set it up for like the tabletop games. So
yeah, and
they have that going on.
They have like tournaments every now and again, like Smash Bros tournaments and stuff.
And then they have, I mean, you can like do like video game time. You know what I mean? Yeah. So they have like a Switch.
Oh yeah.
PS4.
Yeah, they have
Xbox
games
One
set up for you to play.
Like multiple stations of each, so you can either like go in, game with your friends, whatever. You can be me, be antisocial, and just want to play Inquisition, whatever you want.
And they do like birthday parties there and events, and like my mom, she works at the schools and she's doing like a summer camp thing, and one of the stops that they're doing is there, so they do rent out like for events and stuff, and he'd be more than happy to take any events you want to rent out. And
it's a cool little setup.
Yeah, and they're very helpful. Like, if you have any questions about like the games or the VR headsets or anything, he's more than happy to help you with all that and talk to you.
And they have
very
like
friendly.
Top of the line like VR. It's not. He made an investment into those headsets that it's really not like the lower end or whatever, like what you would get probably for your home use, whatever. He invested in like the higher end VR headsets, so it's a really cool experience. I every time I'm in town, obviously I want to like go see him, and he's usually there because it's his baby and he's always there to he's in the first few years, so it's time consuming.
Yeah, so obviously I stop there to see him, but I always like love to stop there and like see what's going on, see what he's got going on, and what he's got in the store, what he's got to play. It's a really fun experience. And sometimes he's got really neat beers and stuff, like if you're into beers, he's got really neat ones to try and like check out and everything, but it's a really cool place to go.
But if you go there, tell him Mr. Coin Laundry sent you, because I think that would be neat.
I would love for him to hear, hey, Mr. Coin Laundry sent me. Like, please tell him Mr. Coin Laundry sent you. Just be like, hey, your brother, Mr. Coin Laundry sent me.
That'd be amazing.
That would definitely put a smile on his face and brighten up his day, and he deserves it. He does a lot, I also wanted to shout out a radio station I never would have heard of before I moved up to Minnesota, Dave Ryan Show. So fucking...
On 101.3 KDWB.
Yeah, she turned me on to this radio station. And we had like radio station that was like local, and we were like, it's cool, but like I go back and listen to it now, it's like kind of cringe. But Dave Ryan Show, still really awesome. Dave Ryan, Valentina, Jenny, and who's the night guy?
Oh, E. White.
E. White. They're all really cool people, and always have been, always been funny and have really good insight. Dave's got a podcast where It's called like
Take a Shower, show up on time, and don't steal anything.
Yeah, and
it's based on his book that he wrote.
Yeah,
that's just like a general kind of like slice of life advice.
Yeah. But
from someone who's been through it all.
After a certain point, he started just talking about radio horror stories, and they're all super interesting. So definitely check that out.
Yeah, there's like a lot of those like radio gimmicks, like like prize giveaways and stuff, like where one of them was like that KDWB did, was like they had to ride the roller coaster at our like amusement park until like there was only one left, but it went on for like a super long time. Yeah.
It's super interesting, and they're very interesting people, and I enjoy them a lot. And, Fallon, I feel like, deserves more love, and Dave obviously deserves more love.
Yeah. It's really funny because for that market, he has a very popular radio show, but they've never like approached him for syndication. No, and I don't know why.
I don't know. Dave Ryan.
He's talked about it off and on, and they've definitely like he's gone back and forth with it whether he would have wanted it or not. But I think he's kind of made his peace that that's not going to happen. And
they have like a super interesting show thing that they do on the radio station called War of the Roses, where they like someone may suspect that their husband or wife is cheating on them, and so they call pretending to be like the cell company or like some
cable company,
and it's like we're doing a survey, and if you just answer these questions, we'll send a rose to whoever you want to send it to. And
a dozen long stem romantic roses. I've listened to so many.
9 times out of 10, they are cheating, and they send it to the wrong person, and then like it's very interesting.
It's like the perfect like 15-minute trash like show that you can listen to, but
I am a Georgia boy who moved to Minnesota and am just enamored with this Minnesota radio station. Like, these people really deserve way more love than they get.
Yeah, even when I grew up with it, right? Dave Ryan was on the radio like almost as long as I've been alive, so like he was like a staple throughout my whole life, right? In the Twin Cities. So I was like, okay, when we moved, I was like, well, I don't really want to find new radio people. So I found out you could listen to them on like Apple Podcasts and like iHeartRadio and whatever on their podcasts. So I was like, great. I can listen to the whole show while I'm working and like kind of get that little piece of home.
They're so cool. They're really good people. I also wanted to shout out an artist who I think deserves way more love as well, Raleigh Ritchie. You may know him as Grey Worm from Game of Thrones.
He's such an amazing artist, though.
He is an extremely talented singer and musician, and I think he only has like 2 or 3 albums out, but all fantastic.
I think it's just the 2, but...
Well, he has an EP, I guess.
Yeah.
But he has a song called Time in a Tree that just really hits me in the feels all the time. And
oh, the music video?
Yeah.
You have to watch it.
The music video is very, like, you just pay attention to the little subtle cues, and it's so fantastic. He's a great artist, and he deserves a lot more love. Raleigh liked the ballet.
I think it's...
Richie like Lionel.
I forgot that's how he described it. But honestly, Raleigh is exactly like I spelled my name.
Yeah.
Lee and Lee. It's the same.
His real name is Jacob Anderson, but his musician name is Raleigh Ritchie. Definitely check him out. I also wanted to recommend a show to everyone. Even if you're not really like an anime fan, this is a really funny anime thing. It's not like a really...
Anime thing?
It was an anime show, but it's not like a super story-driven. It's got kind of a story, but it's super funny. It's more like shorts, kind of. It's called Way of the Househusband, and it's on Netflix. And it's basically about a retired Yakuza man who is a house husband now. And it's so funny because he still looks like super intimidating, still looks like a Yakuza, but he's doing like everyday house husband things and like cooking and cleaning and everything, which, is cool and great and all, but then he goes out and like tries to do everyday things, but he's super intimidating and scary to people that they're like, I don't know how to deal with this situation. Like, he went grocery shopping with his wife in one of the episodes, and he goes up to this poor like grocery store worker. He's like, excuse me, where can I find the really pure white stuff? I'm talking the really pure grown white stuff. And they're like, I don't think we sell that here. And his wife is like, he's talking about flour.
Listen, you ain't gonna get what you need by saying it like that, sir.
But it's just stuff like that. He's super intimidating, and everyone thinks he's still a Yakuza man, but he's a house husband. He's trying to live everyday normal life, and he's got this cat, and the cat gets into all kinds of shenanigans, and it's a super funny show. Definitely check it out. But that's all I had. Did you have anything else?
Oh, I shook my head. No.
Alright. Well, I guess we're good for now.
Yeah.
It did end up being longer.
I was about to say, you kept your promise.
Sometimes I start talking and I don't know how to shut up.
That's okay. That's the point.
I guess so. Thank you guys so much for listening. I almost said watching. Thank you guys so much.
Maybe one day it'll be a watch, but for now it's a listen.
Yeah, maybe one day. Thank you guys so much for listening. We really do appreciate it.
We appreciate every one of you that takes the time out of your day to listen to our nonsense for however long we end up going.
Thank you guys. I'm Dustin, aka Mr. Coin Laundry.
And I'm Mandy, aka Truly Mandalee. And we'll catch you next week.
Catch you on the flippity flop.
Catch you on the flippity flip, and then I make an absolutely perfect swish on that.
Yeah. Nice. Nothing but net.
Shout out to my office people.
Alright. Catch you guys next time.
Alright. Bye, guys. Love you.
Bye. Love you.
Bye.